Welcome back to Understanding Human Anatomy and our fourth video on the development of the peritoneal cavity. Now I want to start by talking about how the stomach moves in the early stages here in the embryo. I'm going to draw two views, an anterior view and a lateral view of the stomach. So let's start with the anterior view. And if we look at the anterior view, the esophagus comes through the diaphragm and the stomach bulges. It is very bag-like. In the lateral view, we're going to see again the esophagus, but then the stomach's going to be concave like so, and the posterior is going to be concave or convex like so. The curvature on the anterior side is the lesser curvature of the stomach, and on the posterior side we're going to have the greater curvature. And again, this is posterior, now the stomach is going to turn in two directions at the same time. It's going to go from this vertical position to a horizontal position. And the stomach's going to make a quarter turn in the clockwise direction when looking from above. That means this part that is posterior will come around to the left, and the lesser curvature, which is anterior, will move to the right. So if we look at the stomach after that happens, sketch in the esophagus, and then we're going to make the greater curvature and the lesser curvature of the stomach, so that the lesser curvature The lesser curvature faces right and slightly superiorly, and the greater curvature sits to the left and looks inferiorly. So we want to go back to our cross section, but after this rotation and change in orientation from vertical to horizontal takes place. So we'll start by sketching in the exterior of the embryo. Put in a vertebra. Like so. We'll draw in an aorta. And just to make things complete, we'll draw in an inferior vena cava right next to the aorta. We'll have kidneys, which remember are made of intermediate mesoderm. Color our kidneys in. And then I'm going to draw the stomach, and I'm going to draw it shifted slightly to the left from what we had before. And again, I will draw in the peritoneum. So we're got the peritoneum coming like so. And we got half the ventral mesentery, visceral peritoneum, and some dorsal mesentery. And the parietal peritoneum on the other side. Completing our ventral mesentery, wrapping around to form the dorsal mesentery. And then we will have our arterial supply coming around like so. Now, this is what we'll see somewhere in the 5th week of gestation. And we're going to have a structure grow out of the foregut. This structure is going to grow out of the foregut and grow into the ventral mesentery. Such that it'll cause the ventral mesentery to bulge. Now, since it's growing inside the ventral mesentery, it will have the mesentery still around it. So I just have to complete this. And complete that. Now, the ventral mesentery is now divided into two different structures. We have a structure sitting between the stomach and our new structure, and the new structure is the liver, and this will be the lesser omentum. And it sits between the stomach and the liver. And again, the liver is an outgrowth of the foregut, and it grows into the ventral mesentery. The other part of the ventral mesentery then becomes named the falciform ligament. So the liver, beginning to develop, divides the ventral mesentery into lesser omentum and falciform ligament, and we now lose the structure we call the ventral mesentery because it's divided into two. The dorsal mesentery is still here. And the dorsal mesentery, if we give it its proper name, would be the dorsal mesogastrum. And we'll draw a line connecting the label to the circle. And again, this is kidney. So, we have the peritoneal cavity still divided into right and left, but now the liver is beginning to develop, and that divides the ventral mesentery into lesser omentum and falciform ligament. In the next video, we'll see what happens as the stomach continues to rotate and move over to the left side of the body, and the liver will start to move to the right side of the body. Thank you for your attention.